March 8, 2014. A routine international flight takes off from Kuala Lumpur. Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 bound for Beijing carrying 239 souls. On board, families, business people, travelers, all unaware their journey would become one of history's greatest aviation mysteries. The Boeing 777 soared smoothly into the night sky. Everything seemed normal until just over an hour later, it vanished. No distress calls, no emergency signals, nothing but silence. The plane disappeared from civilian radar screens without explanation. Military radar showed a shocking twist. The aircraft turned sharply away from its flight path. The transponder, the plane's tracking system, was deliberately switched off. For 6 hours after losing radar contact, MH370 kept flying, somewhere over the vast, remote southern Indian Ocean. But the world didn't know where. Searches began in the wrong places. Hope clung to every possible clue. Pieces of debris eventually washed ashore thousands of miles away, confirming the unimaginable. MH370 was gone. Families waited, desperate for answers. Investigators chased endless theories: pilot suicide, hijacking, mechanical failure, conspiracy. The deeper the search, the darker the mystery grew. Satellite data, underwater drones, international teams, all hunting shadows beneath the waves. 11 years later, MH370 remains lost, a ghost plane swallowed by the ocean in silence. Before we dive deeper into this chilling mystery, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because the truth behind MH370 is still out there, and you don't want to miss a single revelation. Flight MH370 departed from Kuala Lumpur International Airport at 0:41 local time, bound for Beijing. On board were 239 souls, passengers, crew, and pilots with everyday plans that never came to pass. The aircraft was a Boeing 777-200ER, a model with an excellent safety record and highly advanced navigation systems. At 1:19, MH370 sent its last voice transmission. "Goodnight, Malaysian 370. Moments later, it vanished from civilian radar. Primary military radar showed it turning sharply off course, veering westward across the Malay Peninsula. Why? No one knows. The transponder was switched off. That's not a system failure. It's a deliberate action. At 2:22, the plane disappeared from all radar coverage. Then, nothing. No contact, no pings, no beacon. Initial search efforts focused on the South China Sea, based on the expected flight path. But they were looking in the wrong ocean. It took days before Inmarsat satellite data revealed a handshake, a signal MH370 was still airborne for hours. This shifted the search to the southern Indian Ocean, a vast remote expanse larger than the United States. And with that, the world began chasing shadows in one of the most hostile, unforgiving parts of the planet. Over 26 countries joined the search. It became the most expensive and extensive aviation hunt in history. Aircraft, ships, satellites. Everyone was scanning. But the ocean is deep, dark, and vast. The Australian Transport Safety Bureau, ATSB, coordinated efforts, believing the plane flew on autopilot until fuel exhaustion. Search vessels mapped previously uncharted seafloor, revealing mountains and trenches, but no airplane. Families of passengers, meanwhile, endured agony, daily briefings, false hope, and growing frustration. In 2015, a flaperon from MH370 washed up on Reunion Island, the first tangible evidence. Other debris followed. Wing fragments, cabin panels, confirmed to be from MH370, scattered along African coastlines. But still no fuselage, no cockpit, no black boxes, no closure. In 2018, Ocean Infinity's private search, using advanced underwater drones, covered new areas. Still nothing. And in 2025, Malaysia halted further efforts again, citing lack of fresh evidence, but leaving the door open. One theory is pilot suicide. Captain Zahari Shah is believed by some to have diverted the plane intentionally. Flight simulator data from his home showed practice runs over the southern Indian Ocean. A chilling coincidence? Others argue hijacking. But by whom? There were no demands, no group claimed responsibility. Mechanical failure? Possible, but Boeing 777s don't simply vanish without a word. Cyber hijacking. Some theorists suggest the aircraft's systems were taken over remotely. Then there's the theory of hypoxia, a cabin depressurization that rendered all on board unconscious as the plane flew on autopilot. Military intervention? Some whisper that MH370 was accidentally shot down, but there's no evidence. Others blame intelligence operations, transporting sensitive cargo, triggering a secret takedown. A popular theory claims the plane is hidden, a bizarre but persistent belief tied to geopolitical intrigue. With every new theory, the truth feels both closer and more elusive. The Inmarsat satellite pings, called BFO data, traced MH370's path using Doppler shifts. Analysts use this data to model the plane's final arc over the Indian Ocean. The lack of a transponder signal forced reliance on indirect, complex calculations. MH370's route included a sharp turn, flying back over Malaysia before heading into the ocean, an intentional route. The plane likely flew for 6 more hours after contact was lost, but where exactly it went is still debated. Debris drift models helped guide the search but were based on probabilistic modeling, not GPS. The ocean floor terrain complicated sonar mapping and reduced visibility for underwater drones. The black boxes, key to solving the mystery, emit pings for only 30 days. MH370s were never recovered. There's growing advocacy for real-time flight data streaming to prevent such disappearances again. MH370 changed aviation data policy. But for many, it's too little, too late. Families remain shattered, waiting over a decade for answers that may never come. Some believe their loved ones are still alive, hidden or held. Others demand justice for what they call a cover-up. Memorials stand in Kuala Lumpur, Beijing, and Perth. Empty graves for a vanished jet. Psychological trauma lingers, worsened by misinformation, conspiracy theories, and media silence. For aviation, MH370 is a cautionary tale of over-reliance on outdated tracking systems. Lawsuits and investigations have yielded few results, and more frustration. Journalists and experts like the Atlantic's William Langvisha have chronicled the story with chilling clarity. Public interest has waned, but every new theory or debris find reignites the obsession. The mystery remains an open wound for global aviation, a case where science still collides with silence. Above all, it's a reminder, even in our hyper-connected world, things and people can still vanish. The name MH370 is now synonymous with unresolved tragedy and the limits of human knowledge. Ocean Infinity plans another search in late 2025. Technology has improved, but hope is fragile. Aviation protocols have since evolved, global tracking mandates, satellite enhancements, emergency protocols. Yet many flights still fly over oceans with minimal real-time location data. MH370 has become a cultural fixation. Books, documentaries, and even Reddit threads dissect every clue. It also represents our cognitive need for closure. Humans struggle to live with uncertainty. Experts warn against turning MH370 into myth. It's not a ghost story, it's a real tragic failure. Still, its mystery draws us in, year after year, because we cannot accept not knowing. And maybe one day a ship will pass over a deep trench and find what we've all been searching for. Until then, we owe the 239 lives more than remembrance. We owe them the truth. A decade later, the world moves on, but for 239 families, time stands still. Their quest is simple: the truth and a place to mourn. MH370 is not just a technical puzzle, it's a human tragedy. We must remember the people lost, the crew, and the families who endure. The search for answers must continue, for their sake and for the safety of all who fly. Each new advance brings hope that the final secrets of MH370 may yet be revealed. Let us honor their memory by refusing to let the story fade and by striving for progress and compassion. The watch is not over. We must never give up the search. If this story moved you, share it. Let's keep the search for truth alive. Hit like, subscribe to our channel, and join us at infinity as we continue exploring the world's deepest mysteries. Because some answers are still out there, waiting.